If you don't follow the direction, you may be arrested. You understand?
On the 5th of October 2020, heavily armed police wearing gas masks and prepared with a battering ram pounced on a young family's home in South Australia.
It was probably one of the most confronting nights of my life.
The crime that justified such a heavy-handed police response, you ask? Well, Dad didn't get a COVID test fast enough for local health officials.
So I had rang pathology and I got the first available appointment that they could...
tomorrow.
Climpath, which is done tomorrow.
The thing is, he did everything by the book and was still dragged away in cuffs in front of his wife and children. You need to watch Mehmet's full story from beginning to end, and then if you're able and you're willing, please help us help him and his family by donating what you can to his legal defence at fightthefines.com.au. Last year, Mehmet Aaron travelled to Victoria to find work to support his wife and 2 little children during what we all know as financially challenging times. After spending a few months here in Melbourne, he had to travel back home, so Mehmet received an exemption to cross the border and go back home to his family in Adelaide. One of the border exemption conditions was he had to submit to a COVID test within 24 hours. And since he wasn't allowed to leave his home according to that same exemption, he booked the first available appointment coming to his house the following morning. But that didn't stop half a dozen militarized cops swarming the family home late that night.
That I had 24 hours to submit to a test. Okay, so I had rang pathology and I got the first available appointment that they could...
tomorrow.
Climpath, which is done tomorrow. So if you ring them up, and they'll tell you my name and my address and what time they're coming out tomorrow.
But instead of just doing the easy, simple, right thing and calling the mobile clinic to verify Mehmet's COVID test booking for the morning, the officer in charge threatened to arrest the young father in front of his wife and children.
The officer said to me yesterday,
mate, listen to me.
That I'm not allowed to leave.
Listen.
So I booked the Climpath to come to me. So
I understand you got a version of events. I'm telling you what's happening tonight. If you do not come out and go to the Pullman Hotel, we will be coming in and arresting you. All right, that's the only options. So you ever think about it? You got kids inside. You get things to worry about.
Hang on a minute, mate.
So I think about it for 20 seconds.
Hang on.
No worries. That's the options, mate. That's what's happening. All right, have some thoughts. See you,
How
mate.
is he, Beryl, don't let him break through the door. Just go.
They said that if I do not open the door, that they are going to knock it down and remove me from my premises. So then I sort of like said, well, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to let them do that because of the fact that I've got 2 young children and they don't need to witness anything like that. So pretty much they forcefully removed me from my house. And then I was taken to the police watch house for 2 days. From there, I was then taken to the ARC, Adelaide Remand Centre, locked up there for nearly 48 hours, treated just the way that I was treated. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong to begin with. So, they locked me up there for, nearly 48 hours, and I had to plead to get bail to leave from there. I complained to the judge, and they locked me up in the Pullman for a further 10 days. So I was out of home for about 14 days, now facing 2 charges, failing to comply with the direction.
Mehmet didn't breach anything. He's asked for our help at fightthefines.com.au, and after hearing his story, seeing the evidence and watching that confronting footage, we have to step in. Mehmet's managed to raise $1,600 on his own, which hasn't even covered his legal fees with those few hearings so far. So with your help at fightthefines.com.au, we're going to get our experienced COVID fines lawyer, Manny, who's already won numerous cases, to take over his fight for this Aussie family. If you're able and you're willing, please donate what you can at fightthefines.com.au to cover the costs. Thank you, Manny, for joining us again, and thank you for this time taking on Mehmet's case. What can you tell us so far, mate?
Well, Mehmet's case quite unique in that he is being charged with 2 counts of failure to comply with the COVID directions, namely failure to comply with a COVID test. He has actually submitted to 3 separate tests so far, and he's received a negative result in all of those tests. 2 things that are very concerning. One is this person has complied with all the regulatory requirements to satisfy the the Department of Health there in South Australia in terms of his negative tests. So he's absolutely no risk to public health. The second concern is the heavy-handed and disproportionate actions by the police that has resulted in quite a lot of fear and intimidation, not only for Mehmet himself, but his family and his two very young children.
So when I've got like task force at my house, I'm thinking that my husband's committed some kind of serious crime. I was an absolute nervous wreck.
I just find it quite disturbing that the police would dedicate so much public resources for something as trivial as this, when certainly those resources could better be used better in other places, especially given Mehmet's cooperation and compliance at all times. It is definitely quite a disturbing case, and one that should be a lesson for all of us in terms of what we may potentially face should we, be targeted for these types of matters.
It's been pretty tragic.
We're really sorry about what your family's been through, and I hope that the fact that the fightthefines.com.au program that we've put together can in some way, even in a little way, relieve any of that pressure, that would be great for us.
The overwhelming how overwhelmingly humble people are, the ones that aren't negative, the ones that are actually supporting people like us, the humbled feeling that we have just by their positivity and they keep the spirits up, and that it means a lot to my husband and I. It really does.
Stay strong, stay there. There's a lot of people that are going to get behind you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Manny, for taking on the case. You've done so well so far for our Fight the Fines cases around Australia. We look forward to keeping up to date with Mehmet's case. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
You've tried to raise some funds yourself. I think you've raised about $1,600. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, I have. Yeah, it's cost me a lot of money. This has.
Now, we know how you feel, because we've been fighting these cases across the country, and they cost far more than $1,600. What we've said to you is take that $1,600, put it towards the lawyers you've taken until now. You've had, I think, 2 mentions until now. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, I have. Yes.
From here on in, we've put you on to our Fight the Fines campaign, where people can help donate at fightthefines.com.au, and you've got that gun lawyer, Manny, who's already had a number of successes in this exact field in fighting these COVID fines. How are you feeling now that you've spoken to Manny?
To be honest with you, I'm really confident with Manny. He's really articulate, and I have good vibes from him. He seems to know his field, and obviously with the backing of yourself and Rebel News, I'm really confident with you guys that we will be able to win this, because to me it's pretty straightforward. But I'm not an expert, but I'm confident with you guys on my team. And I really appreciate everything that you guys have done, and what you guys will continue to do, and the support of the people as well.
If you love this idea of helping Aussie battlers defend themselves from overreaching COVID enforcement, make sure to like, comment, and share this story. Let everybody know about it. And if you're willing and you're able, please donate what you can at fightthefines.com.au to ensure we can fight for as many Aussies as possible.